to Live from the Laundry Room, where we check in with some of our favorite college education partners, see how their campuses are doing, see how their students are doing. I'm Jesse Turner from Lexington High School. With me always is my co-host, Mary Lauren from Perry County High School. And we are very privileged to welcome Hannah on the show from MTSU. Thank you so much for coming on and talking with us today. Tell us just quickly, before we jump on the MTSU, Hannah, how are you doing with the social distancing? How's everything going in your neck of the woods?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Again, my name's Hannah, and I'm from MTSU Admissions. I work with all our West Tennessee students as well as Kentucky, and right now, Alabama. Not always going to be Alabama. I have been basically working from home for about 2 weeks now. Our office went from working all in the office about 2 weeks ago. Then we transitioned into a 1 day a week, and now I am working from home. So I have been kind of intermittently here. At first it was hard because I think we all had all that rain and it was rough to not get any fresh air, nothing. So now I even have my window open this morning. The beautiful weather has definitely helped out. I haven't gotten to binge a lot of shows lately, and so now I've gotten to get into that. And so it's been okay. I'm fortunate to have Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. I miss sports a lot. I was actually in Jackson watching the last NBA game before they canceled the season or postponed the season, so I missed that, but it's okay. We're surviving.
And you got the big three covered, it sounded like, Netflix,
Yeah.
Amazon, Hulu, and that's there.
And we got Disney Plus too for all the nostalgic memories.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, and there's new shows on that coming out too. So
I know. I kind of wish they'd push those up just a little bit because I'd be binging.
Right. They're not a sponsor yet. We'd love to have them though, Disney.
Yeah.
We would love to know.
We'd appreciate it.
Tell us about MTSU. Are you guys? I'm assuming that the campus is closed currently.
Yeah. So, for the most part, I mean, students are able to still live on campus if they don't have anywhere else to go, if they can't go home, if financially it just works out better. Our two not basic dining halls, but just the all-you-can-eat dining halls are still open for those students. Our student food pantry is still open to kind of help those students. But yes, everybody else is from home. Our student affairs staff, just like I mentioned earlier, just got transitioned to home, but our advisors are at home. Everybody is kind of giving the campus a little bit of its distance. Even though if a student needed to come on campus, it's not like we have barriers to say, oh, we're not allowing anybody. So we're trying to help those at need populations. But for the most part, we're trying to keep that distance since we have 22,000 people. So
that's right. How is, and you may not have been able to talk to the students directly about this, but what is kind of the feedback so far of you guys having to transition all the classes online? Like how's that going so far?
Yeah, so I'm actually a grad student, so part of it is a personal experience, even though when I was an undergrad, I took a ton of online classes. So for me, it's not been difficult, but a lot of the conversations have been how are our science classes going to go? And our nursing program is pretty big on campus. And so how is their classes what are those classes going to look like? So I think a lot of students have really just been like, oh my gosh, like, how's it going? But so far, it seems like it's working pretty well. We had Chromebooks available for students who didn't have access at home, so they could get those up until yesterday. Some of our student organizations have been highlighting how students are doing at home, like doing a day in the life, so we can kind of see what it's looking like. And it looks like, I don't know how personally the classes are working as far as if they're learning a lot. I know for me, I actually got ready today and I feel more productive than normal. So I'm sure students are along the same boat, but it seems to be okay.
Well, good. That's good. Talking about, you said you had taken online classes, so this wasn't anything new for MTSU to have online classes. I guess the biggest challenge was, like you had said, those science classes.
Yeah.
Transitioning those online. So let's see that y'all were comfortable in that.
Yeah.
Beforehand. And I'm assuming you said most things were open on campus if they absolutely needed to. So like Wi-Fi, all of that, they can still go to campus for internet access?
As far as I know, yes, but I'm going to say it's not necessarily, the library isn't open for all 22,000 people to come, but you can get Wi-Fi sitting on the sidewalk. So I mean, if it's, and they also, our library had MiFi cards available. So if you didn't have reliable internet at your house, you could check one of those out. I know obviously they didn't have one for every student, but if a student just desperately did not have internet, there were options for those students.
Right.
So that was kind of helpful, just to make sure there's connectivity and everything like that.
So, kind of on the flip side of that,
Yeah.
so since y'all are kind of finishing up this semester,
Mhm.
it's kind of creeping up on us pretty
Mhm.
quickly. What is y'all's plans for the fall semester? What are your plans for orientation, registration for both your current college students and your future freshmen?
Yeah, so I'll start with current just because it's coming up next week. Priority registration with MTSU starts next week. I believe it's the 7th, so next Tuesday. As far as we are being told, that is working just like it normally would. At MTSU, freshman students are required to meet with their academic advisors based off of their credit hours. And so anybody above that, it's optional. We always recommend you do it. I did it, and it was probably the very smart thing to do. But for those students, it's a completely online process, and so it's not something that they're worried about for current students. Our summer semester so far, May is going to definitely be all online. We actually just got the email about that. June and July semesters and sessions, they're still kind of taking that week by week just to see what the situation's going to look like. And so, kind of leading into our incoming students, usually student registration for incoming freshmen happens at orientation, which MTSU calls customs. And registration for that was supposed to open about 2 weeks ago, and obviously it has not because of all of this. Our first freshman session is supposed to be mid-May. I believe it's the 14th and the 15th. We are not entirely sure what that's going to look like yet. It's we usually there's going to be 11 sessions this year, or we're scheduled 11 sessions. In between those, we welcome all 3,000 of the incoming students, and so I think the process of how to get those people in without social distancing protocols being broken is a very big task for that office to undertake. So they are working diligently on it. And so we are telling students to look on the customs website, and I can give that. It's mtsu.edu/customs. They're trying to keep it as updated as possible. Registration for it will open in time for students to get accurate classes that they need. It's not going to be we're going to not do anything until July kind of situation. But because of how big of a turnaround it's looking like, we still don't have a super solid update. But we are keeping our fingers crossed everything will be in person for the fall. So hopefully by then we'll get people registered, but then the fall semester will start as it's supposed to be.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Well, and my next question doesn't really have to be aimed at your future freshmen or your current students, but what is a piece of advice that you would like to give? And you being a student yourself would be able to do this. What's something that you would love to tell students right now in this transition where everyone's changing everything on a dime to be online, where
Yeah.
we're not really sure how the next few weeks are going to look, but still looking ahead at next semester, at their goals, their big
Yeah.
picture goals. What's a piece of advice you'd love to pass on to them?
I think it's something, and it's something I'm having to tell myself, even in like my personal life, just kind of controlling what you can. If we have students that listen to this that are scholarship eligible, you can accept those. You can really look into your program and see if that's really what you want to do. I mean, I'm in my mid 20s and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I really what I want to do? We're like in the end of the world. So is this what I want to do for the next 20 years? But just kind of seeing what's important to you right now when life is a little limited, and kind of following that when it gets back to normal. If that means changing your mind about where you want to go to school, that's fine. Stuff will work out. But controlling stuff that you have the ability to, obviously, we can't control when our orientation will open, when anything will open back up, but you can control going outside for 45 minutes. So do the little things to worry about yourself right now, and everything else will fall into place. Because 10 years from now, I think this will be something we still talk about, but the day to day of customs didn't open when it was supposed to, or I had to talk to my advisor online, or I met my fellow classmates or something online, will just be a memory by then. So it'll work out. And we actually just finished a team meeting to where one of my coworkers was like, we got to affirm that this will end. And I was like, oh yeah, it's going to have to end because we can't keep doing this. So just reminding yourself it's temporary, and it won't affect the rest of your life the way you think it will.
Very solid advice. Keeping in context, controlling what we can, and not worrying about what we can't control. I love it. I love it. It can apply to not just students, but anybody that's out there watching. Well, well, to the end of the show, and this is my favorite part, and this is where we talk about what you're doing at home. A lot of us are having to work from home, having to do social distancing. And I'll go first to kind of get it started that way to kind of show you and Mary Lauren the last couple times we've done this because we obviously are going a little stir crazy. We've been at home.
Yeah.
We've all been working from home for a couple weeks now. And what I have done is actually gone through every space in my house. So God bless the garbage man that had to take out the garbage today because every trash can was full. But then also I'll show off. I've got a little picture frame that I ordered. I'm finally going through family pictures from the last vacation.
Oh, I love that.
And getting everything in frames and putting them up around the house and trying to get a scrapbook going of that. So Hannah, what you doing at home? What's a new hobby or habit or something that
I'll try to move my computer. I don't know if you can see it. I'm rewatching Parks and Rec.
Oh, amazing.
I watched it a couple years ago and I was like, you know what, it's a good 20-minute show. I would have it up on the screen too. I'm watching The West Wing for the first time. So those are the two trying to be the background noise. I've gotten through 2.5 seasons in about a week and a half. So we've obviously added a lot to that and I'll see if I can pull it up. So fortunately now that the weather is nicer, I've been trying to go for a walk around the neighborhood at least once a day. So that is kind of the stir crazy part of it. Also I'm from Murfreesboro, so I'm very fortunate to know our small businesses that I've grown up with, want to help keep them in business. So I'm not a very big cook, so I'm trying to order takeout from small businesses. But in the nature of sharing stuff too, I don't know if y'all can see it. This is a lime green room that last week got to paint a normal color at my mom's house. I was like, you know what? We're going to be productive since we got to be stuck at home. So we went from lime green to gray. So those are some of those projects that, since you got nothing else to do, you might as well do the stuff you've been ignoring. So that's what's been going on.
So I think God has a sense of humor when all this started because I gave up Hulu, Netflix, and Disney Plus for Lent.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm still watching movies on Disney Plus, but I'm not binge watching any shows.
Oh my God.
So
you only got a week left. So it's
yes. And as soon as we got quarantined, I was like, Jesus is laughing at me because I have nothing to do now. So I've gotten really creative. I showed a couple of videos ago, I've been investing in Legos, which makes total sense to just get more crap to lay around your house. But I, like you, I'm from the town that I live in now, and it's very small, very mom and poppy, and they're taking a hit from the economy, and I've been trying to eat out at least once a week, but now anyway. So I've started a virtual online bingo.
I love that.
And the way it works is everybody on my Facebook is buying a $3 ticket, and I have 30 cards that can go for sale. And once they pay the $3, they get their card. And then tonight at 8 o'clock, Wednesdays at 8, we play bingo virtually.
That's awesome.
And every person paid the $3. If we have 30 participants, we get to give away 3 $30 gift cards to local businesses. And we had our first game on Sunday, and everybody was so happy. And then I put the tickets for sale again on Sunday night and Monday, and they sold out in 2 days.
That's awesome.
That's been my exciting times.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm really looking forward to watching The Office again.
Yeah, I think that may be my next sitcom to rewatch. I rewatched Brooklyn Nine-Nine a few weeks ago, and that's one of my favorite shows. So we're just kind of cycling through all of those. But on Lent, I gave up chocolate for Lent. And after sports got postponed, and especially after March Madness got canceled, I was like, we got to have some happiness back in life. So I will say I gave up my Lent about 2 weeks ago. I couldn't do it without all the happiness, but I love the online. That's cute.
Yeah, we stole that idea. I'm also in the town that I'm in. We're doing a raffle, so people can buy an entry for
Oh.
$3, and then all the money, just like with Mary Lawrence Bingo, all the money will go to a small business. We're doing like the end of the day, and then doing a raffle at the end of the day. We really wanted to steal bingo, but honestly, I didn't have a bingo set, and
well, why would you not have that laying around?
I know. I mean, I probably could find poker chips, but you don't want to take the gambling that far. So we definitely wanted to try to do something for it. So it's really neat how everyone, in 3 different cities being recognized here, a lot of cities across, America right now are trying to really pay attention to their small businesses and people in their communities that, they are the backbone of our community, helping support us when times are well. So it's only right that we try to support them.
Yeah, and I feel guilty every time I go to Sonic because I'm a big Sonic person too, but it's so easy to drive in. But just trying to keep some sense of normalcy when we can, I think it's very helpful. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Hannah, thank you so much for joining us today. We'd love to, now, depending on how long the social distancing keeps on, we may do another check-in once, you guys get registrations up and rolling to kind of just keep our MTSU students updated. But, we hope you have a great rest of the week. Obviously, enjoy Parks and Rec. I'm a huge Parks and Rec fan. I know that you'll have a great time. And we hope everybody stays safe and washes their hands.
Yeah, y'all too. Thanks so much. And we'll definitely hopefully get to go back to normal soon. So thanks so much, guys.